G'day guys, welcome to the video. My name is AK. I'm the Director of Real Estate here at Medellin Living Real Estate. Today, I'm going to give you a full presentation called The Reality of Airbnb Investing in Medellin in 2026. What international buyers need to understand before they invest. So, I've chosen this name very carefully because we deal in reality here in Medellin Living. We are here to provide you all the facts so you can make the best decision with your money. Not here to sell you a unicorn dream. We're here to give you the reality. So with that said, let's jump in and see if Medellin is still worth it for you to invest. Let's get started with the uncomfortable truth. Most buyers, or many buyers that I get, come to me and they say, hey, I want an investment. I say, okay, what do you want? They said, I want the highest ROI possible. But what they actually search for does not match that goal. These buyers say they want maximum return and strong cash flow, but then they give me a whole list of items in terms of like large apartments, big terraces, views, beautiful interiors, quiet buildings, specific areas, all these things that really have nothing to do with ROI at all. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Most investors go wrong because they're trying to buy an investment using a lifestyle criteria. This is not how you can do it in Medellin. I don't know if you can do this in other markets as well. Leave me a comment if you can do this in your market. If you can have a laundry list of like 50 items, which is the perfect apartment for you, which is also an amazing investment property for short-term rental tourists or people on Airbnb. So what do high-performing Airbnb properties in Medellin actually look like? There's a few things you need to know, and these all make the ROI go up. Walkability to Provenza. If you don't know what Provenza is, that's the main, restaurant and nightlife district of the city. All short-term tourists want to be close to there mostly. Usually newer buildings, which are less than 10 years in age. Short-term rental approved is a must. These make roughly, 50% to 100% more than 30-day monthly rental apartments. You must have full amenities, so pool, gym, 24/7 security. If you have a building that's iconic, for example, Wake, Energy Living, all these ones, everybody knows about them. They're very famous across the city with both Colombians and foreigners. So this also drives up the ROI. And here's what those apartments actually look like. So the buildings are beautiful. They have everything you could ever need. But you would think that the apartments are going to be really cool as well. Well, not always. They're often very small, 50 to 70 square meters. They have very simple layouts, very basic interiors. Some don't even have any view at all. You might just be looking at the road or other buildings. And sometimes they do not even have a balcony. So they're built to rent well, not to impress. And think about this for a second. These buildings are built for short-term tourists, someone coming for a weekend or a week. And usually if someone's coming here to Medellin or any city in the world, they're probably going to be out of the apartment most of the time, doing tourist things, seeing the sights, exploring the city that they've come to visit. No one is going to be staying in the building or in the apartment for the whole week and commenting, wow, I'm so glad that I booked this place because the bench top is really high quality. Oh, wow, look at this view. I'm glad I can sit here all day and enjoy it. Mostly next to no one does that, okay? So these places are optimized for short-term rental tourists. And that's why they rent so well, actually. So if you want strong ROI, your focus must change. You got to focus on location, building type, rental demand, and ultimately, if you're really an investor, you need to look at the purchase price versus the income that the asset is producing every year. Then you can do some simple mathematics, which I'm going to share with you a bit later in this video, and then you can see if this is a good investment or not. You cannot think emotionally about going into the apartment and feeling, oh, wow, this is great. I feel good about this. That's not how you invest. If you look at the numbers should tell you if this is an investment or not. Last year, in November and October, I sold 2 apartments to 2 buyers who never even came to Medellin and never even looked at the place. I just shared with them the whole ROI analysis. I shared with them the Airbnb reports for the last year, and with that was good enough for them to buy. So here's a case study to show you exactly what I mean by this, okay? So one of the best buildings for short-term rentals and making money is Energy Living. If you don't know it, it's this one here, very iconic building, probably the most famous building in all of Medellin. And if you look at the interior, it's nice, it's fresh, it's new, but it's not spectacular. There's no balcony, there's no view. You're just looking at some buildings here and the road. These type of buildings and these type of apartments is what rents really, really well. This one's only 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms. As I said, small, 67 square meters. It's sold fully furnished, but it's legal for short-term rentals. This is a must-have. It has all the amenities: rooftop infinity pool, gym, jacuzzi, on-site restaurant, on-site sports bar, 24/7 security. Also, it's only 15-minute walk to Provenza and Parquelleras, which is the main nightlife and restaurant district of Medellin, as I said. This investment, although it looks boring, delivers a strong 8.5% net rental yield after expenses and after all property management. So you basically buy this, you do nothing, and you make 8.5% on your money in net rental yield cash flow. And on top of that, you will also make appreciation. Okay. So this is a very, very good investment. I would say this is one of the best investments in terms of turnkey on the market right now. My point with all this is, if you want an investment property, you need to optimize for cash flow. These are often going to be smaller, efficient units built for short-term tourists. If you're looking for a lifestyle property, these are optimized for enjoyment, for people staying longer terms. So they're larger, they have better finishes, they may have a better view. They're better for people staying months or years, but they will not make as much money. And you cannot optimize fully for both. If you do, you're cutting something out. If you're optimizing for lifestyle, you're definitely cutting the ROI. And if you're optimizing for investment, you need to cut some of these lifestyle factors. Now, let's talk about lifestyle-driven properties. So I showed you the short-term rental property in a pretty, average-looking apartment, which gives you 8.5% net rental yield. Lifestyle-driven properties, so let's just say you go out and you find the perfect apartment for you, and you want to rent it out as well. This is going to give you closer to the 2 to 4% net ROI. You're primarily buying lifestyle with some income on the side. So this is for you to come down and stay in when you visit Medellin, and then the rest of the time you can rent out. But you cannot be thinking about making maximum ROI on this, because as you've seen here, you cannot. The ROI is going to be roughly half of what you can get if you just optimized for pure investment. Before we get into the next chapter, if you're interested in buying a place for yourself to live in, or you're looking to buy an investment in Medellin, check the link in the description. If you're ready to buy within 30 days and your budget is 150K or above, fill out the form and we'll reach out to help you further. Next section. Medellin has changed, but many buyers are still thinking like it's 2019. Hopefully that's not you, but don't worry if that is. I'm going to teach you why that is wrong. So the market has matured. 2019, maybe not that many people knew about Medellin, but it's blown up in the last few years. Now everybody knows about Medellin. When that happens, prices go up, competition increases, and costs become higher as well, because all the companies start charging more for their services. So back in 2019, 2020, anyone who bought back then, who doesn't know anything about investing, just had some cash and said, I like Medellin, let me buy something. All those people are killing it now. They're making 10%, 15% easily. But that was pure luck, right? And that time of the market is gone. I can tell you confidently, buying a turnkey property and making over 10% ROI is almost never going to happen. I say almost because I sold one which makes above this last year, but that was in Wake, if you know the building, very famous building. The apartment was 550,000 USD and it was not optimized. They didn't have a jacuzzi on the balcony. We crunched the numbers and knew that this was being underutilized, and now it would deliver over 10%. If you have a huge budget, 500, 600,000, then you could get this 10 to 12%, but this 15, 20% is long gone. Okay, so what do realistic returns look like in 2026? What you should actually expect, if you find a good deal, this is not any deal, buy anything and you're gonna make this. If you find a good deal in a short-term rental building, you can make 5 to 7% net rental yield every year. So I'm just gonna call it net ROI, and by that I mean net rental yield, but make sure you add appreciation on top of this. 5 to 7% net ROI on a good short-term rental building in a good area, okay? It could be close to the parks of Laureles, or even better, closer to Provenza, okay? That is the hotspot. That's where you want to buy. The biggest mistake we see is people chasing 15 to 20% returns. It's never going to happen. Just give up and move on, please. Don't waste your time. Second one is, as I said at the start, people searching for perfect livable apartments and then trying to optimize for ROI. Those deals do not exist in today's market. So Medellin is not dead, it's just matured. If you want stable demand, consistent cash flow, long-term appreciation, the market still works. And if you have realistic expectations of what you want to make, somewhere between that 5 to 7% ROI, 8 to 10% if you find something spectacular and you have a bigger budget of $350, $400, $500,000, then you can make that. But if your budget is like $200,000, $250,000, be happy with that 5 to 7%, or time to look somewhere else. Now let's have a look and actually look at some ROI breakdowns. So we're not going to guess, we're not going to hype it up for social media and say 15, 20%, buy this, buy that. And then later when you don't make that, we run away and stop responding to messages. I'm just going to give you the numbers, and you can cross-check all this stuff with ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever AI that I know that you're using. Here is the spreadsheet, guys. This is what I use every single day to analyze deals for our investors. This is the energy living property that I told you about before. So the sales price, roughly 325,000 USD. So it's not just $325,000 done. There's extra stuff you got to pay for. So you need a lawyer to do the title search for you, to do the contract for you, to do the closing for you. That's going to cost you about 1,800 USD. You need a brokerage account. If you've been following us for a while now, we talk about brokerage in almost every video, so you should know what this is. If you don't know what it is, click the second link in the description and watch my masterclass about buying in Medellin and understand what a brokerage account is and why you need it. But anyway, for the brokerage account and government tax, you're going to pay another 1.2%. So that's factored in here as well. Then for notary fees and registration, it's going to be about 2 to 2.5%. Let's call it 2%. And you got your number here as well. All those together will give you a total investment here. So that 325K becomes almost 340K with all the extras. So we have that in our numbers. Then we have to plug in some other things, which are going to be carrying costs. So carrying costs being monthly HOA, which is the administration fee you have to pay every single month. Then you need to pay annual property taxes. So these are all the items that go into an investment. So now let's go line by line into the expenses. So this one, I actually had the gross income for the whole year of 2025 from the seller. He was very open book about this. Not every seller is going to give you this, but this guy did. So I have the whole 2025 income. So I've put that in there, and in the Airbnb report, it shows the income after the Airbnb fees. So I've just put included here. But if you do your own calculations, for example, you don't have access to these Airbnb numbers and you go to Airbnb itself, look up maybe a listing in the same building that you're buying, and it says there $150 a night is a going rate, then you could backwork that. But remember, you got to take out the Airbnb fees. So Airbnb fees about 15.5%. They changed that model last year in November or December. Before they had a different model, but now it's 15.5%. So you take that 15.5%, you also have to add IVA, which is Colombian service tax. So you add that and then you subtract that 18.5% from the gross income. Also, you need to subtract the 12 months of administration payments, the whole year of property taxes, internet charges, utility charges. Cleaning is actually included in the Airbnb price. So I just put included. Maintenance in case, you just need to replace some things throughout the year. If any big items break and you're renting through Airbnb, I believe Airbnb has up to $1 million in insurance, so you can just claim it back through them. But this is more just maintenance in terms of like reusables, little soaps and whatever, things like that, $500 a year. This is your equal biggest, this could be your biggest expense, which is property management. If you want to do it yourself, good luck doing it on a daily rental property. But if you want to do it yourself, you can save a lot of money. But the bigger companies who have a lot of properties in their portfolio and therefore can take advantage of economies of scale, they charge about 15% of the gross income, plus the IVA tax as well. They're providing a service, so you need to pay the IVA tax on top. For those of you that don't know, IVA tax is 19%. So 15% plus 19% of 15%, 18.5%. So you take that out as well. And remember, this is for very big companies. More boutique companies can charge 20%. I've seen companies charging 25% for property management. So just with these two items, Airbnb fees and property management, you're already losing 37% in expenses. So just remember that, right? Insurance, if you're doing self-managing, you need to buy insurance to cover your property. But if you have a property manager and they're renting it under their name, they'll have insurance themselves, okay? Loan repayments, foreigners can't get loans in Colombia, so just leave that part out. This is what it comes out to. So you got the annual net income here, which is basically the gross income minus all the expenses. And then you got your ROI, so 8.25%. All right, so guys, here's a few things to summarize, right? Purchase price versus the total investment. Don't just take, the $320,000 as your number, because there are additional costs, usually about 3 to 4% in closing cost. And that you need to add to your purchase price to think about, to come up with your total investment. Also, in the last example, I didn't have occupancy rates because I had the whole Airbnb report from the owner, so I could just plug those numbers in. But if you don't have that, make sure you model it 70%, 80%, 90%, whatever, and then model it for whatever occupancy you want. Usually between 70 to 80% is okay. If you want to be very conservative, use 70%. So what people miss, ROI is not revenue. Real returns depend on fees, taxes, management, maintenance, okay? Most online ROI claims ignore these. And I'm not going to mention who it is, but I've seen a lot of people online in Colombian social media talking about 12%, 15%, but they don't factor in expenses. They don't factor in property management. So watch out for these claims. And how do I know this? Is because usually how we work is we work one-on-one with the client. The client comes to us and says, I'm your point of contact. You find me something. They send me links of other things they see online. So then I delve a bit deeper and I look at all these other investments that are being advertised or the links that they send me. I reach out to those agents or reach out to those developers and I actually get their numbers and model it myself. And many times when they're saying 12, 15%, I do this same calculation as you saw in the spreadsheet and it comes out to like 5 or 6. Somebody is either lying or somebody doesn't know how to do math properly or someone is doing creative marketing. Be aware of that and be smart. So what should you take from this? If you want maximum ROI, think like an investor. Just look at the numbers and buy that. If you want lifestyle plus enjoyment, the perfect place that you can come and visit and stay there and then rent it out when you're not here, that's fine as well, but accept lower returns. Do not look for something 7, 8%. Be happy with something 3, 4%, all right? So be clear about this. And once again, we're not telling you to do one or the other. We're not even telling you to buy in Medellin. We're just giving you the facts and saying, this is how it is now in 2026. If you're serious about buying in Medellin, we only work with buyers who are ready to purchase within the next 30 days and who have a budget of over 150,000 USD in cash. Because as you know, there are no loans for foreigners, okay? So if that's you and you're ready and you need our help, check the link in the description, fill out the form. We will review your criteria and see if you are qualified to work with us. And if you do, we'll reach out immediately and get things started. Hope you enjoyed the presentation and see you on the next one.